guys, welcome back to another weekly reading vlog, and this is going to be a reading romance for a week in celebration or in preparation for Valentine's Day. So I have 4 books right here that I kind of have set aside from my monthly TBR specifically for this video. So we're going to really quickly talk about those books and what I planned on reading for this week. So the first book that I was interested in reading is Pucking Around by Emily Rath. This is a hockey romance, book 1 from the Jacksonville Rays series. I know nothing about this other than it is supposed to be super spicy, and it's such a heavy book. Like holding any other book, this just feels dense. And I think it's like 500 pages. Holy crap, it's 730 something pages. Did not expect, I mean, it's a thick book, but honestly had not paid attention to the page count of this book, but you know, whatever. So we have Pucking Around that I was interested in reading for this week. We also have Wildfire. This is book 2 of the Icebreakers series, and I want to read this because book 3 is coming out soon. I think it comes out in the summer, like in June, I want to say. But I did want to go ahead and read this, and that way I will be ready for book 3. While this is it's an interconnected standalone series, I still want to read this before I jump into book 3. So we have this book, and then we have L. Kennedy's The Deal. This is the off-campus series. This is book 1. And I bought this because I did not know if I was going to like this book and if I wanted to continue with the off-campus series. I have heard that the series is good, but I don't think it's like 5-star series, but it would still be a book that I was interested in reading. So we have The Deal. And then the last book that I had set aside for this video was a book I was super excited about. I specifically asked for this book for Christmas, and it is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I also have Keeping 13 on my bookshelf because I've heard that when you read this book, it's going to destroy you and you are going to want to have the second book handy. So I do have the other book just in case this one is going to be something that I have to immediately pick up the second book after I read this, but I am super excited to read Binding 13. So these are the 4 books that I had identified for this reading romance for a week vlog. So this is what's going to be over on my table, probably right here for me to grab during this week. But I read something yesterday that I think I have to pick up the next book. I think it's a must. Even though I was planning on reading this book next month, I really don't think I can wait. So we're adding a book to this reading vlog, and let me first introduce you to the book that prompted me to make this decision, and that is Akamath. I finished this. So I started it on February the 1st. I finished it last night, which would be February the 3rd. I stayed up until 1:30 in the morning. I had to finish this book. Those of you who have not read ACOTAR, and specifically Akamath, you're missing out. You must pick it up. You must read it because I have so many feelings. Just looking at my flag, so I flagged 4 feelings. So I have a lot of the pink is love. I don't know if it'll pick up, but I have pink is love, green is like happy or laugh out loud, and then I have blue, which is sad, and then I do have 1 red that was angry. And I probably could have had more angry, but I was just in it and I was just trying to devour it, and I forgot to flags at some points. But I read this, finished it at 1:30, and I am making this book 1 of this week. So this is also going to be in my reading romance for a week vlog. I am also annotating, and I'm actually thinking that I might highlight in my books. If you have watched my annotation video, you know I specifically said I do not like to write in books because I am someone who will get rid of books that I don't enjoy or I don't think I'm going to read again, and I don't think that's going to fall into either one of those categories. So I do have my flags already identified for Akawar. So A Court of Wings and Ruin. I do have my annotation already identified, but I think I'm also going to have a highlighter because I have a feeling I'm just going to need it. But we'll see. I don't know. So this is going to be also included in my week of reading romance. So today is Sunday. Honestly, with this video, I was planning on starting it on Monday and doing Monday through Saturday probably, or even Monday through Sunday. But because I finished this, I didn't think I was going to finish this last night, but because I finished this last night and I have to pick this up because I am so dying to find out what's going to happen, that I'm going to start this on Sunday. So this video is going to run Sunday through probably, I might just do Sunday to Sunday. So we're going to have a full week, Sunday to Sunday, of reading romance, and we are going to find out how many of these books that we'll be able to read. And I will try to record little snippets of me reading these books during this vlog. And I will also try to make it spoiler free, specifically for this book and for this book, because I know these two books are a favorite for a lot of people. So Biting and Keeping 13 has a lot of people loving this book, and then ACOTAR obviously is a very popular Sarah J Maas series. So I'm going to attempt to not have any spoilers in these books because I don't want to ruin them. So that is what we are working on for this week. And we're going to really quickly put these on the shelves. We're putting this not on the shelf because this will be read immediately. So we're going to put this right here because it will be read very, 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 very soon. And then we're going to put the rest of them away. So if you would be interested to see how this week goes, then just keep watching. That's going to be it. Let's get started.
With you, everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just want to make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight.
All right, it is Tuesday and it is almost 5 o'clock. I am done with work and I'm about to run to book club to do some more reading. This is silent book club, so I'm able to read whatever books that I want, and we kind of talk for the first 15 minutes of book club, and then the last 15 minutes we talk about like the books and what we're doing and, you know, our reading, but we can read whatever books we want. So I love that. But I wanted to give a little update. So I did read some of Akawar last night, and then I read some this morning during some of my breaks at work, and I am on page 175. I'm about right here. I definitely thought I was going to be further along in this book last night, but I wasn't able to read as much as I originally anticipated. My hope is that I can get at least halfway into this book today. If I could get to 350 pages, I would love that. If I could read all of this, that would be amazing. And I think between book club for about an hour and a half, and then also for my reading after 9 o'clock, I think I definitely could do it. So hopefully my goal is the next time you see me, I will be at least halfway through with Akawar, because I would love to get this done by Wednesday, so that way I can start my next book on Thursday, and maybe I'll only have 2 books read this week, but we'll see. But I mean, this is 700 pages, so it's a pretty chunky book. So, but that's where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and get my shoes and get my bag and head out to book club to do some more reading.
I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Falling in love.
you go. Okay, it is Thursday and I am sitting in front of my office because I have to work on site again and I'm not happy about it. So, but I did want to do a quick check-in because I do not know if I'm going to do a check-in this afternoon. I'm hoping I will, but I have work today and then I have to go home and then I have to work out and then I have to take my oldest to gymnastics and then come home and then eat dinner and then get bedtime stuff for my youngest. And so there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening. And so I don't know if I'm going to do a check-in, but I did want to quickly talk about what I read. So last night I stayed up until after 1 a.m. finishing A Court of Wings and Fury. And that was a 5-star book. It was so good. I will say I'm kind of, when it comes to fantasy books with a lot of like politics or war, they're kind of hit or miss for me because I am more character based. I like more character based books and not so much like world building and war and all of that kind of stuff. I usually don't care for that type of book. But the Court of Wings and Fury was actually really good. It had a lot of war in it, like it was the buildup of a war. And the characters and the actual war piece wasn't bad. So 5-star, it was so good. I'm going to start on the 4th book because that's the really, really thin book. I'm going to start on that next month because I want to get to the rest of my February TBR for this month. But I do anticipate for March, I'm going to read that because it's a really thin, like novella, I guess. And then there's the last book that's out right now, and that's the orange one. I don't remember what it was called, but I think I'm going to read that in March as well. But the book that I picked up today that I'm going to read is Wildfire. I needed something that was going to be cute and really easy to read. I really want to read Binding 13, but I got sad at the end of A Court of Wings and Ruin and cried several times, and I really didn't feel like crying again because I have a feeling that Binding 13 is going to be a emotional book, and I don't really want to have another emotional book back to back. So we're gonna do Wildfire today, and then I'm hoping I'll be able to get that done today, honestly, because it is very short and it's going to be, I think, a really quick read between me working here because I'll be able to read my book for lunch, and then I'm going to be reading my book during my my oldest gymnastics class, and then again at night, my normal like 9 o'clock nighttime kind of routine. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get all of this book read today, crossing fingers, because I would love to start reading maybe Pucking Around tomorrow, because I have Pucking Around, The Deal, and then Binding 13. Those are the 3 that I have left after Wildfire. So I would like to read maybe Pucking Around tomorrow, but that's a really thick book and I don't really know if I want to do that. So we'll see. But we're going to get in this office because it is 7:55 and I need to get all my stuff and head upstairs, and we will maybe do a check-in later today. All right, so today is Saturday. I did not do any recording or any check-ins yesterday because yesterday was my really short day of work, which you would think I would be able to record, but it was also my husband's birthday, and so we, after work, went out to lunch, did some shopping, and then I had appointments in the afternoon, and then we went out to dinner, and things just got away from me, and recording just was not a priority. But I will let you know that I did end up finishing Wildfire, and I ended up giving this 4 stars. And I think it was because I really didn't care for the setting, because this is set at a like summer camp over a 10-week time frame, and it's got Russ and Aurora, and they're both camp, not camp counselors, camp, whatever they're called. They're camp people. They're in charge of the campers. I guess, okay, they're summer camp counselors. I've never been to summer camp, so I didn't know that they were called camp counselors. But anyways, so they are camp counselors, and there's like this no fraternization rule. So they're like that sneaking around type situation, scared to get caught. And it was really good, but it was just a setting. It didn't really draw me in. I think I would have enjoyed it better if they would have been in college, just because it would be more relatable to me. But I did really enjoy the characters. They both had like family issues and things that they had to kind of figure out on their own. And then as a couple, they kind of figured things out together. But Russ was such a sweet main character. Like he reminded me of a golden retriever. Like he was so aware of Aurora and what she needed that like he noticed that she wasn't eating in the morning, or she wasn't feeling good, and so he brought her food in the morning. And then he checked in with her at like a thunderstorm, because she was scared of thunderstorms, and so he went out of his way to make sure that she was okay. And I just really did enjoy him as a character. But I think if it wasn't for the camp setting, I would have rated this higher. It definitely wasn't a 5-star, but it might have been a little bit higher on the 4-star scale if it wasn't at camp. But it was really good. And I'm very excited for the third book, because I think I'm really going to like that one, because it has Henry in it. And I really do like Henry from the first book and the little bit that you see him in this book. So that is my status for this book. And then I did try to figure out what book I wanted to read next. There's Pucking Around, which is a 700 page, like why choose type romance. It's very spicy. I think it's a story about a girl who is a like physical therapist, or she's somehow in the medical field for a hockey team in Jacksonville, the Jacksonville Rays. And it's her with like 4 different guys. So this will be my second time reading a book kind of like this. And so we'll see, but it is 700 pages. So I have this, and then I also have the deal that is much shorter, and I don't know which one I'm going to choose. I do have both of them on Kindle Unlimited. So luckily I do not have to haul specifically this book around because it is so big. I do have them both on Kindle. I did go ahead and start this morning at the nail salon, just so I could have something to read while I was getting my nails done. So I think I'm gonna read this, but then if it gets too much for me, or too like, I don't know. I have this, but if it ends up being that I need to take a break from Pucking Around, I do have the deal. So I am going to do, this will be the last full day. Tomorrow I'll do another check-in, and that will be kind of my last check-in, I think, for this weekly vlog. So we'll be able to figure out how many books I am able to read over this week. And it'll be interesting, because I know this week I ended up having to go into the office 2 times for 2 full days, and I have appointments and things like that. So it will be interesting to see how many books I'm able to read on a typical week while I'm working. So that's where we're at. Today is, like I said, Saturday, and I took the girls shopping. It's kind of a rainy, dreary, miserable day, so we didn't do as much shopping as we normally do. So we're back home now, and I have some things I have to do cleaning wise, laundry, normal adult things, which is so not fun. But after that, we're going to do some reading, and we'll see how far I get in Pucking Around and or the deal for today. So that is where we're at, and we will go ahead and try to finish up this day and see how much reading we get done. Okay, it is now Sunday. It is the end of this reading romance for a week reading vlog, and I wanted to give you an update, my last update for this video. So the last I checked in, I was kind of unsure what book I wanted to read, whether it was going to be Pucking Around or The Deal. So I ultimately chose to read Pucking Around because I thought this would probably be kind of the most entertaining of the two. It is 700 pages. And so I was like, I have this on Kindle Unlimited. I'll just be able to read it. It's going to be a fun time. And this will be my second DNF of 2024. And the reason why is I got to, I don't even remember, like 63% on the Kindle, which was like 460-ish pages into this 700-page book. And there's literally no plot. So I'm all about reading smut. You know, it's a fun time. It's enjoyable. But you gotta have a plot. I need to have something that will keep me going, especially for 700 pages. If it's 700 pages, there's gotta be something. And so as I was reading it, I had some thoughts on what the plot might turn into, like what the end goal of this book was. And so I had 3 thoughts kind of on the potential plot. So the first one was, the whole story is she, the main female character, is a hip and knee doctor for a hockey team. And plot number 1 that I thought was, she wants to have a relationship with hockey players and it's not supposed to happen. Like, she is not supposed to, or she said she does not want to, and she doesn't want to ruin the reputation of these hockey players by being involved. So she does not want anybody to know because she thinks it's against the rules. But then, I don't know, 100 and something pages into it, they're like, oh no, you just have to sign a form and say you guys are together. She can no longer be the doctor for him, but you know, they can be together. So I was like, okay, that's not the plot because you have 600 more pages potentially. So what's going to be the plot? So then, second plot idea was, there was a discussion on the goalie and his like mystery injury. Like, he's got something going on and she's trying to figure it out. So I was like, maybe throughout this story, it's going to be her kind of figuring out what the problem is. And that's kind of the plot. Like, he's an Olympic hopeful, and so she wants to kind of figure out what's going on with his injury, but she wants to keep it under the radar for the Olympics. But then, you know, 400 pages in, it's like, oh no, they found out what the problem was, so that's not the plot anymore. And then the third option was, maybe at the beginning of the book, she is with two characters. Like, that's kind of like their relationship. And then it was, well, how about we bring in this third person? And I was like, well, maybe through 700 pages, it's going to be the issues of, you know, does he want to be part of the trio? But then I was like, oh, nope, he does. So I gave up because I can't figure out what the whole point of this book is. And if I'm going to read it for 700 pages, I need to have something. Like, you got to give me something. At least with, like, Court of the Vampire Queen, which is kind of the same scenario where it's a girl. Same scenario, but it's a girl with 3 guys on that book. And it was like 400 pages. There at least was some kind of overarching storyline to go along with the smut. Like, there was something that was like, okay, they're leading up to this thing at the end of this book. There was that. This book didn't have that. It was just smut. And if I'm reading 700 pages is a long time to read. Just nothingness. There's no point in me reading it. So I gave up. I DNF'd it. DNF'd it at 63-ish%. So given my 2024 DNF rules, I'm going to count this as a full book read. So on my like statistics, it's going to show that I read 700 and something pages. 730 something pages. Even though I only read 460-ish, I cannot get that time back. It wasted 460 something pages that I could have had those pages in a different book that I actually enjoyed. So I'm giving myself 300 pages of grace. And so this would be counted as a full book that I read. I am just not going to score it because I did not finish it. So disappointing, but I can say I attempted it, and it did have some spice in it, but I needed to have something. I think the problem is I just got done reading Akamath and Akawar, and there's so much plot in that one that going from that to Pucking Around, it's just, I needed something. So that was it. So during this video, let me pull up my story graph. So we're going to talk about how much I read for this week of reading romance, given the fact that I went into the office twice and I work full time, I have kids and all that kind of stuff. So let's pull up my story graph really quick so we can see where we're at. We started this on Sunday, February the 4th, and on the 4th, I read 206 pages. On the 5th, I read 178 pages. On the 6th, I read 145 pages. 7th was 183. On the 8th, I read 251. On the 9th, I read 204. 10th, 302. And then the 11th, which was on Sunday, today, I read 454. Granted, that also was counting the pages that were not part of Pucking Around. That's my DNF, but I'm still adding them because, like I said, I'm giving myself those pages and those days. So that's 454 pages that I read on Sunday. So I'm going to have somewhere on the screen my grand total of all the pages that I read during this week. So let's go ahead and do a recap of the books that I read. So I started off the week reading ACOWAR, 5-star, very good, thoroughly enjoyed it. Cannot wait till next month where I get to pick up the next books. And then after ACOWAR, read Wildfire. This was 4 stars. This was a very good book. I just did not enjoy the camp setting. And then we have our last book, which is Pucking Around, which we just got finished talking about. It is a DNF, but I'm giving me credit for all 700-ish pages of this book. So for this week, this is definitely a good quantity of books. I mean, granted, I probably still had this many pages that I did not technically read, but that's still a lot of pages that I read for this reading romance for a week. So that is the end of this video. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you have not had a chance, please make sure you like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.